Hello. I'll be continuing from the point where I ended in the earlier video, and it's because there's a time limit of 15 minutes only, so I forgot about that. So now I was talking about how the government can be more stricter or can be laying more taxes on a particular industry. So regarding that, we have the experiences of alcohol industry or the cigarette industry, where the government is going on laying more cesses and taxes, because of which the prices are also increasing. So this is a way through which the government can control, or government can be very lenient towards some industries. And supply of raw materials, because if the raw material is very much prevalent in the country, then it is easy access, and then it can be easily bought, or it can be easily secured. But if the raw materials is not easily available, or if the raw material is not abundant in the country, then we have to import that particular raw material. So in those cases, there comes plenty of uh, uh, diplomatic things of with the other country from which the raw material is being imported. So the supply of raw material is one of the important characteristic which determines the growth of a particular industry. Then cost structure. So cost structure of the industry is the the various costs, like fixed costs and variable costs, which are there in the organization. So higher the fixed cost component, higher is the sales volume necessary actually to achieve the break-even point. So if the industry is trying to maintain a lower fixed cost proportionately to the amount of variable cost, then the break-even point will also be lesser, and thus with less amount of sales only they'll be able to achieve the break-even point, and thus they can earn more profits. So these are some of the characteristics of industries, and which can be very important while determining the investment scenario of the investors as well as the financial analysts. So some factors which from these slides we can draw out certain factors which affect the industrial analysis. Like I've already explained about product life cycle. I've already explained about the demand and supply gap, barriers to entry, then government attitudes, state of competition in the industry, cost conditions and profitability, and technology and research. So these the points which I've already talked about, I'll not talk about this now again. Technology and research. So technology and research is that the government always lays very much a strong emphasis on the R&D part. So even companies also, industry also have a separate part which is called R&D. So with R&D, at every point of time we find new ideas coming to the market. So with new ideas, if the existing industry is sticking to its old traditional thoughts that they will not change, or they will not deviate, or they will not include certain newer or innovative items, then they will lose the market. Like what has happened with Nokia. Nokia almost lost the entire cell phone market because they were very reluctant to use Android. So these are the things which must be taken care of, because without which the industry will not flourish, or without which the people will be afraid to invest in the particular industry. So these are some of the factors or characteristics or items which are to be considered while making industrial analysis. So techniques that are used in industrial analysis, or the ways through which analysts can make or forecast, is one is regression analysis. So you all have done, or you have made use of industrial regression analysis in your statistics paper. So in the regression here means they are trying to find out the various deviations or differences which are there in the outputs of various industries or various companies within an industry, and try to understand whether there is any significant relationship or not. So investors actually diagnose the factors determining the demand for output of an industry through product demand analysis. So whether that particular output will be demanded or not, or how that particular output is dependent on the GDP or the per capita income of individuals, or is the product related to price elasticity of demand? If the price increases, whether the demand will decrease. So these are some analysis which is done through regression. So next is input output analysis. So input output analysis is it is a particular analysis which reflects the flow of goods and services through the economy, intermediate steps in production process as goods proceed from raw material stage through final consumption. So how this particular entire value chain, this entire chain of activities which are there in the from the raw material point to the output point is identified, and they are the analysts try to understand how different activities can become important factor in the output of a particular item. So if a particular if a particular activity is not included, then it can become or it can affect the sales of the particular item as well. Because some unnecessary activities may be included in the value chain which may not be actually required. But if some items which are actually required, or some activities which are actually required are not there, they will be in danger, because the product will be not in a very good condition in the market. And thus this is carried out to detect changing patterns or changing trend, including how the manufacturing units or the industries are implementing their manufacturing activities, and what is the quality of the output. So input output and regression analysis are two ways through which industrial analysis can be done. So with this we come to the end of industrial analysis. Next, in the next video we'll be talking about company analysis. That is all. Thank you.